Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. This veteran investor. Okay, who is it? Not me. It's Jim Cramer. He made two tweets this morning. One is, almost feels like a cabal is keeping or is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90,000. I like Bitcoin, but I do not like any of the derivatives created to play it or game it or mine it. It's funny because I say this, but I'm looking at it from the other side. I feel like there's a cabal or a group or whales or exchanges or market makers that's keeping Bitcoin low and suppressed right now, around 90,000. But Jim flipped it and said, no, without them, Bitcoin would be well below 90,000. That's what he's trying to say, that the cabal is actually good. It's like the Bitcoin whales that are buying Bitcoin. So it's kind of weird how he inversed that. But that's the warning. He's like, well, there's a cabal that's keeping above 90,000. But if there wasn't a cabal, then it would have fallen, right? So that's the warning. Do we believe this, or do we believe that inverse of this is correct? You guys know about inverse Cramer, right? And he tweeted this an hour beforehand. Even after all this destruction, we're not oversold. This is the type of tweet normally people look forward to, because when you do the inverse of this, it's usually correct. So maybe we are oversold. And it's time for that bounce. Only time will tell if we are oversold, we are ready for the bounce, if Bitcoin is going to rally back up. All right, but outside of inverse Cramer or Cramer predictions, we still have a lot of good things. This is why I'm not giving up, why the fundamentals are still fantastic, and that's why I believe we're going through a phase, just a correction phase that is like a distraction along the way. And I'm not even the first, not the only person that thinks that. Before I get to that last article, Charles Hoskinson also thinks the same thing. It's interesting that he admitted in here that many participants, including himself, thought that 2025 would be absolutely fantastic because of the Trump administration, right? Because he is so pro crypto, and we have all this about a Bitcoin reserve and all the moves and stuff. But then he also said that, you know what, because of the administration, there's been a lot of political turmoil too that haven't been so good, right? So basically, we're kind of like stuck in there, but we will get past it. And he believes 2026 will be awesome. This year has been led by institutions and a lot of political stuff that has held us back. But next year, he believes, is the golden year, right? So this notion of elongated cycle, or just like the removal of a 4-year cycle, more and more people feel like that is true. And I feel the same way too. I do feel like even if we don't see some major moves the next month and a half, we could continue forward in 2026, that we won't just enter crypto winter. There's just too much goodness. Like I've been saying, the fundamentals keeps on growing and improving. Look at this. New Hampshire approves Bitcoin-backed bonds. Basically, you can borrow against your Bitcoin if you wanted to. That is now legal in New Hampshire. So obviously, they believe in Bitcoin now, right? And many states also have a Bitcoin treasury along with the national treasury that we have. And you got like Citibank that issues a buy rating on strategy. And we know that BlackRock, Vanguard, and all these big asset manager companies own significant amounts of strategy and Coinbase and Hut 8 and all these mining stocks, everything. You know they're interested. You got this world's most profitable hedge fund, Renaissance Technology, just disclosed they have 46 million strategy too. So again, these big boys are not in it for fun, okay? They've been around the block for a long time, and they invest in what they feel like are going to make them a boatload of money, basically, right? So there's a reason why there's so many that's holding Bitcoin or holding strategy or holding ETFs. There's a reason for that. And we're talking about some of the biggest entities on the planet, not just like random Joes on the street. And a couple metrics that reinforces this. First of all, if you look at accumulator addresses, has been skyrocketing, okay, throughout this year. And even now, while things are going lower, they are still going upwards. And this is even more telling. If you look at this, this is the whales, okay? What's interesting is you could see that prior in 2024 and 2025, the whale count was extremely high, around 75,000-ish. And when Bitcoin broke above it, that's when the whale count actually went lower. I don't know what they deem whales in this case, like 10,000 plus, 100,000 plus, I don't know. But you could see since we have fallen from our top of 126, there's been a major spike in terms of whales. So that means obviously a lot of them are quite interested and thinks that Bitcoin's oversold, it's ready for a bounce, and or they're the ones that cause this, and the reason why they cause this is because they want to buy low. They want to drive retail out or drive Wall Street out, and now they're accumulating again. But that's a huge freaking spike, and this started recently, right around where we are now. That tells you something. There are a lot of people that are accumulating behind the scenes. You just may not notice it. Because right now, retail is just too fearful. Retail FUD is at a point that we haven't seen since the FTX collapse. Just think about it. 3 years ago, when we fell down to 15,000, the fear level is just as high now as then. 90,000 plus Bitcoin versus 15,000 Bitcoin. Think about it. How does that make sense? It doesn't, but the fear level is just as high right now. And what happened after FTX collapse? What happened after Bitcoin hit 15K? We bounced and we recovered. And we didn't know that was the bottom until months later, when we were well above 30, 40, 50,000, and we're like, okay, that was the bottom. But at that time, you could never predict it. You don't know. Feels a lot like what we're going through, at least the sentiment, but not the price, obviously.